hat 7 Major-Turniere in seiner Karriere gewinnen können, unter anderem auch einen Sieg auf der European Tour gab es vor 2 Jahren in Hamburg. Herzlich willkommen hier in München, The Machine, James Wade! James Wade tritt an gegen die Nummer 14 der Setzliste hier beim German Darts Grand Prix. Er ist der jüngste Weltmeister in der Geschichte der Sportart Darts. 2006 gewann er im Alter von 21 Jahren und 90 Tagen die BDO-WM. Aktuell steht er auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 18. Auch ihn begrüßen wir herzlich hier in München, The Cobra, Jelle Klaasen!
The Cobra and the Machine, ding ding, round 2. For the second week running, these two meet in the second round of European Tour events. It went the way of James Wade last weekend. A lot of things did until you ran into an inspired Peter Wright in the semi-finals. It was pretty inspired stuff from James Wade himself. He didn't miss a dart at double in that semi-final, but he still couldn't find a way to get over the line against a rejuvenated snakebite. He's rejuvenated himself as James Wade, looking very, very dangerous. This evening has seen wins for the 2-seeded players. Stark contrast to what we saw this afternoon. Can Jelle Klaasen continue that trend and get some revenge against James Wade for that defeat in Leverkusen and book his place in the 3rd round of the German Darts Grand Prix here in Munich to face the winner of the next match on stage between Michael Smith and Chris Dobey. We have got some absolutely stonking games of darts for you, but I'll be honest, they'll have some way to go to live up to the first 2 we've seen tonight.
Game on.
The Cobra has the darts in the opening leg. Chris Murphy alongside me, Dan Dawson.
Well, what a start and what a night we could have here, because we've already had 2 fantastic matches, as you've just said, Dan. Joe Cullen seeing off Jordi Meeuwissen with those fabulous couple of Tom Plus checkouts, and then Ian White and Stephen Bunting serving up their usual classic. But in matches between this pair, it usually goes Wade's way. 29 times they have met, and last week's win for James Wade was his 23rd out of those meetings against Jelle Klaasen.
135.
And let's be honest, James Wade, of course, he had to win his first match, not being a seed yesterday, as Adrian Lewis didn't manage, but all of the seed would have wanted to avoid James Wade.
Oh, certainly after the last month or so, the way he's been playing.
60.
Particularly Jelle Klaasen, who's only managed to beat him 6 times in 29 meetings.
But it has to be said, some of those wins for Jelle have been on European stages where he's often produced some magnificent stuff. And if I'm honest, of all the players who haven't won a Euro Tour,
140.
I think over the last 3 years he makes a strong case saying Jelle Klaasen's been the best player among those guys who hasn't won one.
Game on the first leg. Jelle Klaasen, second leg change.
Nice to see Jelle go in the old 36 route.
And it can be a quite misleading stat, because James Wade won the first 11 meetings between this pair.
85.
Yeah, but a bit more even over the last 4 or 5 years.
59.
You know, he beat him in Austria, didn't he, on the Euro Tour? Beat him in the German Darts Masters last year. Beat him at the European Darts Open the year before. It's the Euro Tour stages where Jelle has really, well, if anything, he's had the better of James Wade, to be honest. Beat him at the European Championship as well, I believe.
83.
The 3 of the meetings were Premier League clashes. The players that this pair will be trying to make strides to get back there. James Wade's going the right way about it so far in 2018.
45.
He's had a look at himself. He's had some help looking at different aspects of his game, his technique, his mentality. It seems to be bearing fruit so far, because it's not just last weekend. He has been producing some good stuff in the floor events too, hasn't he?
Yeah, really good stuff. James Wade
140.
averaging 96.26 over the first 3 Players' Championship weekends. Only 10 players with higher averages than that. And that's over 20 games as well.
112.
He's had a semi-final run, a final run where he lost to Michael van Gerwen. Now then, another one there. Got a chance to
70.
pick the pocket
24.
and double his lead. This has historically been the strongest aspect of James Wade's
21.
game, hitting doubles.
Yellow, you require 72.
He's missed 3 there and has left the door open for Klaasen.
Gauge from the second leg. Yellow Klaasen. Third leg yellow to
Yellow walked straight through it.
Game on.
A little shot of that yellow stuff on the table there.
Yeah, I don't think James Wade brings much stuff. He has his darts in his pocket when he walks to the stage, doesn't he? Literally 3 loose darts in his pocket. I'm surprised he's never done himself an injury getting them out. He used the same set of darts, James Wade, well, the same style of darts for so long. He uses different sets of the same darts. Can't remember him ever changing.
He changes them after every game, doesn't he? Just gives his darts away after every single stage game he plays.
60.
Yeah, I know that Joe Cullen uses them for a few weeks and then gives them away, but
it's
yeah, James
literally
Wade,
2 or 3 weeks, that's it. But Wade will
59.
I mean, he must get through more darts than Peter Wright.
Never tinkered with the setup.
45. Yellow, you require
I don't
164.
think that it's broken, but he's found himself in something of a hole. We've been bigging James Wade up all
60.
weekend. Hasn't made a very good start to this.
No, he hasn't, but a couple of things.
57.
One,
Yellow, you require
we've seen players come from
104.
behind a number of times over the course of this weekend already. Yella looks for the treble, gets the treble.
84.
Fine double top, but he will return. Yeah, we have seen players come from behind. And of all the players in the world who are not going to take losing 2 or 3 legs on the spin to
100.
heart, James
Yellow,
Wade
you
is one of them. He has this
20.
incredible ability just to shove that sort of stuff to the back of his head, although he's not thinking clearly there because he's left himself a bogey number.
Gauge from the third leg.
unlike
Yellow Klaasen.
James
Won't
Wade.
make James to throw first.
Well, you can just see
26.
some frustration on James Wade's face there. And that was before the last dart found the 5.
40.
Klaasen's done his best to give him a helping hand in this leg. The machine is not motoring right now.
83. 83.
Three times in a row that Wade's first start has been in the wrong portion.
77.
For one segment.
And that did not happen last weekend. Very few times over the entire weekend will his first start have been in the wrong segment.
Just took a little bit of extra time there, James Wade, compared to previous visits.
130.
And it helped him get his best visit of the leg.
66.
Messi from the Cobra.
$100.
Well, Well, that leaves Wade 85. He's only had 3 darts at double so far in the opening 3 legs of this one.
56. James, you require
Leg to forget
85.
Jelle Klaasen, but he is on a finish. Don't think it'll matter.
Games on the 4th leg. James Wade.
He may be late,
the first game off.
but it's a start for James Wade. Because once he starts finding tops, and if not tops, then
81.
tens, it becomes a tough task for the opponent to stop him.
One
We
hundred
mentioned
and 40.
in the game earlier involving Max Hopp, James Wade is a master at finding a way past a seemingly obstructive dart below the
76.
treble 20 bed.
Yes. Yeah, I've put him and Peter Wright as perhaps the 2 greatest exponents of it. And it's largely down to their own stubbornness. Although what's happened there is that the point we were making has been completely blown out of the water
Yeah, we could
by the man himself.
Replayed the previous visit to illustrate our points.
100.
Well, we'll try again.
Oh yeah.
100.
See? Jelle should switch. He's finding a few in the 7th segment, isn't he?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We've just seen a couple of matches where the performance levels of both players have been very high. You do get games where they can kind of drag each other down as well. And you're expecting you're going to have to
140.
chuck in 100 average to beat this guy, and they don't deliver.
Well, it started
can be
off pretty
infectious.
well. Yeah, it
Yeah.
started off pretty well for
40.
Jelle, but it's just gone
James
off the
Stewart
boil
Wade,
here, and that's
76.
when James Wade is so very good.
Well, this is to break and get it back on throw. Well, that was a risk.
40. Jelle, you require 144.
Calculated one. Jelle Klaasen's not made much of a dent in that, so
James,
Wade
you require 36.
looking to break on double 18.
Games on
Does
the
just
5th
that.
leg. James Wade. 6th leg, James to
And weirdly, he was 3-0
Game
down,
on.
James Wade, but you get the sense that once he won the first leg, he was the man in control.
Well, it's certainly Jelle's performance level has just dropped off a cliff, hasn't it, after those first 3 legs?
60.
I suppose it's been perhaps
80.
symptomatic of Jelle this year. He did have a 1 quarter-final run, a couple of last 16 runs as well, but his runs in tournaments, and it looks good, and then it just doesn't go any further. And it's kind of been like that when we've seen Jelle play. He'll have 2 or 3 legs, and you think, oh, he's back now. He's going to be playing his proper stuff, and then he just doesn't carry on, because some of his performances on the Euro Tour for the last 2 or 3 years, I've said before, he's been just happily going about his business, charging around the stage, averaging 100 and 100 plus.
140.
And he is an exhilarating player to watch when he's in full flight.
96.
You feel that Wade is just like a boa constrictor, just getting a grip on
60.
Jelle and squeezing the life out of him a bit.
James, you require
James Wade
141.
looking at a potential big finish, but he doesn't need to take it out, so he'll just set up.
130.
Not in the way he wanted.
He's been utilising that section of the board more often than usual
83.
in this match, James Wade.
James, you require 11.
Well, he's not happy to leave 11, but that's what you left, James.
Yeah.
Seven. Jelle, you require 106.
Big moment in this game.
Game
Jelle Klaasen delivers, steals it away, break of throw, and when it looked like it was all James Wade, Jelle has produced the ton plus checkout.
Well, he had a little correction to put him off a little bit there, James Wade, didn't he? And Jelle Klaasen, perfectly timed, rubbed a bit of salt into the wound.
60.
Speaking about James Wade's potential return to the winners' circle, it has been almost a couple of years now since the Machines won a title of any kind. That was the European Tour event, the European match play in May 2016. The last little run he had like that was about 2.5 years, between the end of 2011 and the middle of 2014.
I was talking with John Hart about this kind of thing. He says, you know, you can be playing well and you can be turning up to tournaments week in, week out, and you can be having runs, you know, quarters and semis and the odd final, but unless you actually turn up and you win, you are the best player on the day, you go unbeaten, you walk away with the title, with the trophy, with the winner's check, you can lose that feeling, what it's like, and you can forget what it's like. James Wade has left himself double 12 to break straight back. Important that he does hit back straight away from this position. Klaasen on a finish.
Showing some resolve here, James Wade.
On the 7th leg, James Wade.
He looked to be affected. But he's hit back very, very strongly indeed.
Game on.
This to level up then. James Wade just looking for a 15-darter on throw.
When they met last week in Leverkusen,
45.
Wade prevailed with a 6-3 scoreline.
108!
Jelle will have designs on reversing that. Maximum number 3.
15-darter could not be enough.
26.
Very unlikely as well with the first 2 visits from James Wade in this leg.
Yeah.
Too many of those.
134.
And you weren't seeing him do that last weekend, were you? Or indeed much over the last few weeks, James Wade. So very good at coming away with a ton or a 96 or a 97.
140.
So even his 4 visits are solid.
$58.
But he's still got the chance with a huge visit here to put himself in perhaps pole position. He would have needed to fill it up to do that, but he has left the finish.
You require 129.
On a weekend of massive checkouts, are we going to see another? Oh, not going to see the 129.
140.
We've seen that a couple of ways today as well.
150.
I fancy this for James Wade. I really fancy this. Does he fancy it? Oh, classic James Wade. He looked out of the leg and potentially out of the match. But that's what he does.
39.
Absolutely spellbinding. Well, James Wade, as we say, we were talking him up. We were saying how well he's playing, how he's constantly averaging in that mid to high 90s range and looking dangerous, looking like the old James
80.
Wade. Well, I mean, he's averaging 92. It's 10 points clear of Klaasen, but he's been very, very close to being almost put out of the game.
Well, one of the reasons that James Wade has won so many titles, one of the biggest factors, is his ability to produce a big finish when it really matters. Now, I was saying yesterday, after having this conversation with his manager, that their kind of plan is he doesn't need to do that to win titles. He needs to up his scoring power and be producing the big averages and not having to pull rabbits out of the hat all the time to go and win matches and titles. But it is a very good insurance policy to have in the back pocket. Not another.
Oh. Well, Jelle has got the 106. He took it out earlier on. if he can repeat the feat. And we stayed there, but couldn't find the treble that he needed. And 68, this is, he just gobbles these up when he's playing well, James Wade.
Jelle Klaasen was seemingly swimming towards victory here, and James Wade just completely turned the match around with that body blow, the 150 check out. Now, all of a sudden, he's throwing for the match. A quite incredible turnaround in this one. And there you see, once again, a run of legs,
100,
a wrestled back control of this tie. We've seen it a few times today. I mean, the 15 darter, James Wade was left on 430 after his first 2 visits there.
Yeah, and it's producing the best darts of the match at the end of the match to turn it around. And we've seen that a number of times this weekend. And it's not really a surprise that James Wade is producing that sort of stuff. It is a game where you see the averages. Jelle Klaasen and James Wade were going along at about 6 visits per leg, typically, for one of them to win the leg. And then Wade found himself in trouble, had to step it up, and does. Because, as you said before, at his best, he can turn it off and on like a tap. He doesn't usually go and play his best stuff right the way through a match and obliterate 6-0, 6-1.
Well, he's beaten Jelle Klaasen into submission here.
$100.
Wade will return, looking for a
93.
+1 finish to seal the deal.
$45.
Not on this turn, but he will be back.
100. James, you acquire 56.
16 for double top for a 6-4 win, and his second win over the Cobra in a week. And that is exactly what he has got. James Wade was in all kinds of bother at 4-2 down, but it is yet another win for the machine against the Cobra, and that 1-5-0 that he acknowledges there to his supporters in the crowd, it changed that game. Magnificent stuff. If James Wade thinks a finish is good, it's a damn good finish. Wade through to the next round. He plays either Smith or Dobie, and those two on the way in a moment.
So, jetzt ist die große Frage, wer bekommt die Flights? James, that's a tough decision, I know. So, weg damit. James, that's the problem when you have too many fans, you know.
I have a fan?
No, congratulations, Mr. Timing. That was a totally different match compared to yesterday. He was 3-0 up, but then, James, you came into the match.
Well, obviously, we was in the dressing rooms. You said to me, make sure you push on in the right times, at the right place. Yeah. And I listened to what you said.
Okay. I didn't know you were able to do that. No, the 150 finish was great and important.
Yeah, I think that hurt, and you know, it was a scrappy game. Yeah, didn't play anywhere near he can. He's been struggling just recently, you know, and that was a result of how he's been playing, and I was the lucky one.
Yeah. But that's what self-confidence is about, that you still believe in yourself when he is 3-0 up.
I've never lost self-confidence. I may have lost self-preservation at times. But, you know, I'm there or thereabouts, and I'm here to stay with your lovely legs.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much, James. James Wade.